No.
Very,
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
And one of my colleagues, Jacques Dane, he's head of research of this museum, and he always tells me that there's this French scientist who says that what you learn during your youth and your until about 12, 13 are the convictions that stays the longest with you. So if your teacher tells you all kind of interesting things about your country or about Europe, it sticks. I think it would be wise to do that a little bit more in primary education or secondary about Europe, about what it's based. It would be good to define some common values for Europe and the importance of being in the European Union and why we do that, and it's based on what history it is.
So teach values.
That's difficult because of course you always have home as well. Personally, I would say you teach values by living them and by talking about searching for common values by way of talking. But I think in nowadays society people don't talk with each other anymore, so we're all in our own bubble, at least a lot of us. That's where school is a very important environment. You have your homeschooling, what you learn from your parents and your family. But in school, there's one place where you meet other people from other backgrounds and other ages also, of course. That's an atmosphere and that's an environment where you should start talking about your backgrounds and where you come from and what kind of belief do you have? Why do you have that? I think I'm not religious, but I'm very interested in people who are religious because, I don't know, I just can't figure it out why you should believe in something. But I think that you cannot put values into someone's head, but you can learn children to think that they know that they have to discuss each other, to be open for each other and to critically listen. I think that's one very important thing that they should teach children at school. And maybe along that way you can also put some common values in the heads of children. Would be nice.
I think a very, very, very important thing is communication.
Yeah,
I think
so.
This is something that you can and have to learn to develop values, because otherwise you're just generating it out of yourself. And in society and the rest of the people are not involved. Does Europe play a part in your life?
Yes, but not very deep. It plays a part in my life in that respect that I like to visit a lot of countries in Europe and that I like to meet other cultures, and I strongly feel that we have to support Europe, but it's not that I personally do or act a lot in the European. I don't know how to say it, but I feel I am a European. That's what I feel, and I'm Dutch European. So you have a lot of people in the Netherlands. They say, no, I'm Dutch, and Europe doesn't matter. But I don't agree with that. We have a common ground, we have common values, and I think we can all benefit from doing things together.
What would you say are typical European values?
The first question, you have to formulate what's in your head as a kind of cloud of being European and finding it important to be a European. So one of the values that's not so pretty, but it's very obvious now, is the economic values that we all want to earn money. I think that's also a value, to be open to other cultures, because we're so many countries in a relatively small
area.
Yes. So I think that would be a positive value, that there is a knowledge that we have to stick together and do it together.
And it's very funny because a lot of people feel as Europeans, but they never thought about Europe, what Europe is, and how it inflicts their personal life.
Yeah, if it inflicts at all. But I think it inflicts all of our personal lives.
I think so too.
And sometimes it's very obvious, but sometimes it isn't. I mean, in the Netherlands, all the European regulations that we don't agree with, then we say, stupid Euro. Yeah, they come from Brussels. But in the end, we all do, for many years already, all things that are based on what we decided on in the European Union.
If you would be the leader of Europe, what would be the first thing you would do?
I would start with the migration problem because it's so terrible what you see and what you read and what you hear about Greece and Turkey and all the pushbacks from migrants, and I don't know. I think it's bloody shame that we're filthy rich, most of us, not all of us, but we're comparatively with other people we're so rich, and we cannot solve this problem, and we cannot be open to invite other people too. So and it's so picky. We want them if they're needed here to pick our tomatoes, but if they want to have a job that we ourselves want to have, then no, it's not. No. So I think that would be the one I would start with, and then I think we have to be greener, much greener than we are now, even if it's going to cost us. Because I'm very worried about this earth. We only have one.
So I have some cards here, all elements of, let's say, European culture. And I want you to have a look through it, and if anything that pops into your head to one of those things, just let it out. Okay. And if something's missing, just let me know.
Art's very, very important, but of course, since I work in a museum, then I think art is a huge way of connecting people and talking about art or about culture, whatever. So yeah, I'm all EU culture program. Well, I just said I came from Athens Friday night, and that was for a EU culture program. I think it's so nice meeting other people, learning from them. I think it's important that we keep doing these things, but I think we have to be critical about the amount of money that it costs sometimes.
By the way, is there a difference in the Dutch language between education and lessons? Because it's Onderwijsmuseum, which is more like lessons. It's not like education.
No. Onderwijs is education, and the lessons are it's in Dutch. It's lesson. It's I think education is the whole of it. So everybody goes to.
That's the language where, because Onderwijs is like Unterricht, Unterweisen.
No, it's different. Yeah, it's different.
Good. Eurovision Song Contest, do you watch that?
Of course I do, of course. We just had a huge fit about our competitors for the European contest because they're singing, I have heard them, but they say it's terrible, so they're not going to win. Activism. I think we need sometimes more activism. We need not only activism one way, like what I say is true, but we need to put activism into talking to each other.
Into communication.
Communication, yeah. Landscape, yes. I think landscape. I don't know. In Holland we don't have much landscape left. That's what I also like about Europe, about constantly changing landscape. I think it's beautiful. Keep on dreaming, yes. In any way, as a European or as an individual. These are the values. Yeah.
We talked about that before.
I think that's very important. Common values and exploring those common values together. Systems of beliefs. I think everybody has a system of beliefs, and you have to try to be flexible in your beliefs. At least that's what I think. You always should be willing to explore your own beliefs and your own system of beliefs. Food, that's really important.
I just found that one.
That's really, I mean, I really like food. So yes, I think that's one of the things that I like the most about Europe. All those different foods.
A Japanese look at be Europeans and have a prejudice about them?
I just know what they have, what their prejudice is about Holland, and that's always, of course, the tulips and the males and those things that we know that are part of our culture, but not the main thing. I think Japanese value Europe and Europeans for their long history. Well, that's my prejudice that a lot of people in Japan still think themselves as kind of superior because they were closed from society so long, and because they, of course, they have a very high standard of history and all that high standard of culture. So that might be a prejudice about Europe, but I don't know if it's very explicit prejudice. But that's what I can think of. Well,
is there a question that you want to answer that I haven't answered?
Too difficult.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I think you had your European frame, and it's nice to tell you about.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your time.
You're welcome.